But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
How is Crawford, his composure, going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo?
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
He's
weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No.
I think Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez.
I think he's too small. But then again, I thought he was too small for Spence. So shows what I know.
Fighters explain why Canelo Alvarez is predicted to defeat Terence Crawford. Boxing legend Mike Tyson isn't convinced about the fight, expressing grave doubts about Crawford's chances and cautioning that facing Canelo could not be in his best interests. Tyson views Canelo's size, strength, and constant pressure as a risky challenge that could be too much for Crawford to handle.
Mike, I gotta say this. Terence Crawford, tremendous fighter. You're a big supporter of his. He wants to move up 3 weight classes and fight Canelo. What do you think?
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea. You know, I don't think, what would he have? I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. People have done things crazy like that before. It's just that he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
You posted the other day, there's a picture of you in a Rolls Royce, and you said, the quote is, "I can't remember how many of these I gave away." Tell me about that.
Yes, I don't know. I guess when you used to having money, it's when I have money, you know, you're not accustomed to that shit, man.
Yeah, but not everybody's Mike Tyson. You're very generous. You're a genuine, nice person. Tillman told me that one time you lent him his car, he kept it for like 3 months or something.
I don't know, none of this shit. Listen, if you have money and you can't help nobody with it, what's the purpose of having it?
David Benavidez views Canelo Alvarez as a source of motivation. He believes that the upcoming fight between Canelo and Crawford is a commendable matchup. Benavidez's respect for Canelo's skills and achievements in the ring underscores his positive outlook on the bout.
Looks like it's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight. And it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question. Do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's, like, you know?
I definitely do use that as motivation because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
Ryan Garcia highlights Canelo's physical prowess, pointing out his stature, strength, and power. He contends that these qualities provide Canelo a major advantage over Crawford, who is rising in weight classes. Garcia thinks that Crawford may find it difficult to overcome Canelo's physicality because to the significant weight class differential.
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. So, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason, right?
He said Teofimo and Boots are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
the
heard
winners
that.
would fight each other. Is that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm
What do you
down.
think of that?
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo, too.
The last one, I gotta do this. I agree with you that there's just like there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there's gonna be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about that?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And for it to be like a mandatory thing, like, why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about them because, you know, they might sue me.
Sean Porter has voiced concerns about Crawford's ability to withstand Canelo's hitting strength because of Canelo's track record of landing strong blows. Porter raises concerns about Crawford's ability to resist such force, particularly in light of the weight and jump classes. These worries are a reflection of a bigger issue of Crawford's ability to survive the physical demands of competing against a naturally larger opponent.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Canelo will prevail in the battle, according to Mikey Garcia, because of his size and strength advantages. According to him, these elements will fight very important in deciding the result, with Canelo's physicality being a deciding factor in the matchup.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. They're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to a Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Roy Jones Jr. has commended Canelo's skills and recognized Crawford's ambition to compete with the greatest. He said that considering Canelo's standing as one of the best fighters in the sport, if Crawford is unable to defeat him, it might be a major turning point in his career.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my God.
Robert, after evaluating the battle, Garcia leans in the direction of a Canelo victory, while particular. His breakdowns, specifics are not. As long as his evaluation is in line with the Canelo is likely to be favored by the majority, taking into account elements like size power, with expertise in heavier weight divisions. Additionally, he states that Robert Garcia thinks that if Terence Crawford and Canelo square off, Alvarez, it will result from the enormous salary he believes Crawford has accomplished enough and doesn't require to no longer fight, as he has obtained his future and leads a life of responsibility. But if the altercation breaks out, Garcia observes Crawford putting up a competitive 6 to 8 rounds prior to Canelo assuming command. He recognizes Crawford's ability and strength, but acknowledges Canelo's strength and size will be too much for him and the Crawford might prevail in the early rounds. But Garcia finally spots Canelo, taking control as the battle goes on.
Robert, what's a smart bet on Crawford Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. And you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo?
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
I don't know, man. Crawford is fucking gangster. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably going to be 40-1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not going to be close.
No, it's going to be close.
3 weight class?
Maybe 3-4-1. ¿No crees?
No.
It's not going to be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just...
who wins straight out?
I think it's going to be maybe 3-1, 4-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2-1. Maybe 2-1.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
So they finally announced Ryu's fight. Gary Russell, what do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights at this level? It's going to be. Finally, you guys will be. The first time you're ever going to a Tank fight, right? To work a corner?
Work a corner at Tank's fight.
Tank's the main event.
Yeah.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has voiced doubts about Crawford's prospects of defeating Canelo, mostly because of the huge weight difference. He believes it is unbelievable that Crawford is taking on this challenge, suggesting that the physical difference may be too great to overcome.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Javon Tank Davis has praised Canelo as a terrific fighter and one of the best boxers of this period, without specifically addressing the fight's result. Davis's enthusiasm for Canelo demonstrates how highly the boxing community regards him.
Canelo is one of the top dogs in the sport as of right now, and he's a great fighter himself, so just having somebody like him to say I'm his favorite fighter is pretty, like, touchy. I think I'm the face of boxing already, if we being real. I think I'm the face of boxing right now. I think that Canelo going out the door, all the top guys, Canelo was probably the only one, but he was going out the door, so.
Applauding, although Canelo claims to be bigger, stronger, and more powerful. Handling a fighter of his caliber is extremely difficult. However, it is also unclear if Canelo can handle a smaller, faster, and more defensive fighter. Canelo has occasionally slowed down, particularly as he ages. His opponent's deft footwork and defensive prowess may cause problems as both fighters age, and their styles and strengths will determine the outcome. Experience, strategy, and adaptability will be crucial in this contest.